Welcome in, everybody, to the big one. This is the game that everyone's been looking forward to, and it has a little bit more meaning now that Portugal have to win the group. And if they do, we get set up with a potential matchup between the two GOATs in the quarterfinal. It is Colombia, it is Portugal. For this game here in Miami, it is a sold-out crowd, a sea of yellow in there, to be fair. Strong amount of Portuguese fans there as well, but we are in hostile Colombian territory if you're a Portugal fan. Cristiano Ronaldo prepares himself for another matchup, backing up from that incredible double last time out versus Uzbekistan, looking to add to that goal tally in this game here. Colombia have been very impressive, arguably one of the most impressive sides at this tournament so far. They have qualified through already, they have confirmed into the next stage, but they want to win the group. You want to win the group, to be fair. It's a very easy run in the round of 16 and the round of 32. Obviously, you do meet Argentina in the quarterfinals if they progress that far. But a meeting with Spain will be in course if either of these two teams finish in second. That comes in around 16, I believe. So it's not an easy run in, no matter what side of the draw. But you'd rather face a team like Argentina a bit later on rather than earlier in the tournament. Let's have a look then at the lineups for Colombia. It is Vargas in goal. Arias and Mercado debut at fullback in this game here. Davinson Sanchez alongside John Lucumi at the back. No changes there, no need to change there. John Arias, Jefferson Lerma, and Piotr are in midfield. Then up top, Cordoba comes into the side, Luis Diaz from the left, and James Rodriguez from the right. In terms of the substitution, Johan Mahica drops to the bench. Daniel Munoz drops to the bench as well. Quintero is down there, as well as Richard Rios, Cucho, Hernandez, and Suarez, who drops out. For Portugal, a couple changes themselves. Diego Costa in goal, no surprises there. João Cancelo at right back, Nunes at left back, Ruben Diaz and Vega at the heart of defence. Vitinha is joined by Ruben Neves today in midfield. João Felix on the left, Pedro Neto on the right. Of course, Bruno Fernandes plays behind Cristiano Ronaldo, who has now scored at 6 separate World Cups and has 10 goals for his national team, the most of any Portuguese player at the FIFA World Cup. For Portugal, the bench. Diogo Dalot is there. Mateus Nunes is there. Nelson Semedo. Bernardo Silva. Francisco Chincao. Jean Neves drops out. Francisco Conceição is down there as well as an option from the bench. And of course, Rafa Leao scored last time out from the bench. This game has sole impact on who finishes top two. There'll be a minute's silence here prior to the kickoff for the Venezuelans affected by the earthquake. Happened there a couple of days ago. There we go, minute silence, well observed. And we are ready to go here in Miami. Set myself up here and get yourself ready. Grab your popcorn. Whether you're in Australia with me, grab your coffees as well. It is the big man, Cristiano Ronaldo, Luis Diaz, Portugal and Colombia from Miami. Probably the best place for football to play in the US at this World Cup. It's a great footballing arena. The countdown is on. So we are underway here from Miami. A sea of yellow, splatterings of red throughout. It's Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, Luis Diaz's Colombia. The battle for the top spot of this group kicks off here. Colombia kicking from left to right in their yellow strip, and Portugal in their traditional red strip from right to left. All to play for here, though. Portugal coming into this game on 4 points after a strong 5-0 result versus Uzbekistan. Got their swagger back. Colombia, a very hard-fought win versus DR Congo. They've gone 2 from 2 and on 6 points from a possible 6. Portugal have to win to finish top. A draw or a victory for Colombia means they finish top and they avoid an awkward matchup with Spain in the early rounds. Just seen Croatia finish second in their group. They will face the team who finishes second in this group here. So a long early diagonal ball. This will be an outlet for them. Luis Diaz going 1v1 versus João Cancelo. Read it better, Luis Diaz. Diaz deflected. Headed effort over the crossbar. Early chance for Cordoba. And Colombia almost scoring inside of the opening minute. Listen to the response from the fans as well. João Cancelo's had a strong second half of the campaign with Football Club Barcelona, but 1v1 defensive versus Luis Diaz. You think he has the beating there. And once that shot takes a little nick, it just skips ahead of Renato Vega. And Cordoba would like to hit the target from there, you'd think. Early opportunity for in the way of Colombia, though. Surprisingly, these are the first match I've actually watched of Portugal in full totality. There's an offside call there. Arias trying to get through. The flag is up, however. But yeah, I haven't seen Portugal in a full 90 yet, so interesting to see how this side does. Obviously, a lot of question marks around Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, that midfield. Portugal look to try to be a little bit more precise in possession. Colombia look to be more extravagant, direct, and trying to beat Portugal in behind. Ruben Diaz not as fast as he once was, and the right back, João Cancelo, not rapid anymore. Nuno Mendes will be one of the better 1v1 options, and it's going to be a long day for James Rodriguez, and on that side, John Arias providing the width. No João Neves today for Portugal, who has had a hit-and-miss type start to this campaign following the Champions League final victory, where he was fantastic alongside his teammate and the man starting in midfield, Vitinha. Ruben Neves, fresh legs, introduced into midfield to add a little bit more quality for Portugal going forward. Vitinha now changing the play here to the right-hand side where João Cancelo is. Pedro Neto. I think we will see Francisco Conceição if this game is tight and cagey, someone who can definitely change the game up, and Pedro Neto will have to be on his game, otherwise he'll be the one substituted. It's a foul on Arias, on Nuno Mendes. There is the Colombian manager, Nestor Lorenzo, a very composed figure, always has the clipboard in his hand. He's a very, very calm and composed figure. Then Roberto Martinez, formerly of Belgium and Everton as well, now managing probably one of the biggest jobs in world football. Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Vitinha, and Ruben Diaz, and this Portuguese side. So Bruno Fernandes set piece, the Premier League record-breaking assister this season. Plays short to Nuno Mendes, who's met there by John Arias. Does a very good job there to win that ball back. And the other Arias there falls away of Ruben Neves and took on an interesting shot there. So we've got Santiago Arias and John Arias today. Waste opportunity for Portugal playing short. I'm not a big fan of short free kicks or corner kicks. Just get the ball in there. Got big boys. He's got Cristiano Ronaldo in there, more importantly. Renato Vega fizzes that one in. That's way too powerful for João Felix to take in under control. This season applied his trade in the Saudi Pro League with Cristiano Ronaldo for Al Nassr, winning the league title there. Cristiano's first title in 4 years in the Saudi division. Renato Vega heads it out to play. It'll be a Colombian throw here, further up the pitch. Trusted though, Renato Vega had moments for Juventus, and then moved obviously to Villarreal in Spain and had a solid start to the season before they fell away towards the back end. Long throw launched in. Diego Costa should be there. Vega took it off him though. Chance in the box for Luis Diaz. Renato Vega heads away. Second ball's to be won. And Ruben Neves hits it up into the Miami skyline. Not read well there, though, defensively by Lukumi. Bruno Fernandes with a swing the play to the far side to Pedro Neto, but blocked away. So Nunmensch with the throw. Looking for Bruno Fernandes. Does very well acrobatically keep that ball alive for Portugal. João Felix gets a toe in and out of play for the Arias throw on this near side. So he changes at fullback, Macchiato and Arias into the side. Munoz rested, I think, in this one here, alongside Johan Mojica, who also doesn't appear. Both played very well when we watched that DR Congo game a couple of days ago. There's a 5-second count against Santiago Arias. So 3 for Portugal. The referee enforcing that 5-second rule to speed the game up, and has been a real good addition, I think, to this World Cup and hopefully to club football going forward. Ball fizz into Bruno Fernandes, a chance to turn and feeding João Felix on the left-hand side. It is Felix. Back post, Pedro Neto's there, just a little bit over his head. He holds his finger up saying, very close. Good whip on that though from João Felix. Just slightly overhit it. Got to think about the target he's aiming for. Pedro Neto would probably like that landing on his left foot rather than a headed opportunity. But bright start for Portugal. It'll be interesting to see how this sort of matchup goes. Colombia will, as I said, will like to be more direct and utilize like sort of Luis Diaz in behind. John Arias' strength as well, which Portugal will like to play to feet. Here's James. Has a go. Pulls it well wide of the target there. James Rodriguez, the veteran. Now playing his trade in America. So know these conditions well. But that's sort of the style. Colombia direct and utilizing athleticism. They will target Renato Vega undoubtedly. Ruben Diaz, the Rolls Royce, can deal with a lot. Renato Vega at times can look unsteady defensively. But on Pedro Neto to get ahead of Macchiato. Rolls into Ruben Neves. Bruno Fernandes, little dink ball to João Cancelo to chase home. Keeps it in play. Barcelona man. He cycles it to Ruben Neves. Boos go around for the strong Colombian fan base here. Vitinha. And Ruben Neves and João Cancelo, not the same wavelength there. Out of play for the Colombian goal kick. Now allows Ruben Neves. There's Gianni Infantino taking it all in. Tell you what, you'd be a bit thick in the old brain if you're a footballing fan and didn't want to watch this one. This is arguably one of the best up there with, you know, the Norway, France. We circled in the build-up. That's a strange pass from Ruben Diaz. Set the task for João Cancelo, who did fantastically well to get away from Luis Diaz. Now Vitinha. A long crossfield pass to find his Paris Saint-Germain teammate in Nuno Mendes, who couldn't get the better of Arias down there. Twisting one way to the next and winning a corner kick. No, he hasn't. It's out of play for a goal kick. Well done, Arias. Santiago Arias. Now with John Arias there. Big midfield game to come here from Jefferson Lerma, John Arias and Pierre in there. You got the creation of Arias, who sort of has to play in a hybrid wing position because of the freedom which James Rodriguez is afforded. But here's their creative spark. You've got Jefferson Lerma and Pierre who are going to probably man-mark Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha and try and make their days difficult. But so important that midfield area that can be tight and limit the creation of this Colombian side. Who'll look to play these balls over the top. Renato Vega just says, I'll get rid of that. And another high ball into the Miami skyline. Luis Diaz, Lerma, Vitinha winning that duel. Ruben Neves, toe poking that to the far side. Neto getting the beating of Luis Diaz there. Just had the score notification go through, but that Uzbekistan DR Congo game, little importance to this one here. So we'll solely focus this one on Portugal and Colombia. We'll check into that score at the drinks break and the half-time interval. Bruno Fernandes trying to direct traffic there in midfield. Uzbekistan have scored in that game there, confirmation of that. Vitinha. Ronaldo's dropped into the centre circle here to try and receive a touch of the football. It's Bruno Fernandes who's gone to the left for the moment. Ronaldo getting the boos for the Colombian fans. Ronaldo's gone down there. Coming together off the ball. Back to his feet though. Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes takes it on. Well, wide of the mark. The Manchester United man trying to create something there. Look at the Portuguese fans there. Well and truly outnumbered, probably 1,000 to 1 out there today. It is a strong contingent of South American fans. Obviously, America, very close to home for them. So they've come in their numbers. The Argentinians, the Colombians, the Ecuadorians are out in force versus Germany as well. And outside the Uruguayans, they've been pretty successful in this tournament so far. Paraguay obviously getting through in one of the best third-place qualifying positions. After that 0-0 draw with Australia a couple of days ago. Davinson Sanchez now. Back to the goalkeeper, Vargas. He goes along. Cordoba. Renato Vega winning that duel. Here come Colombia on the left-hand side here with Mercado. Pieter. James Rodriguez. His class is permanent with him. Pieter again. You see him there sitting the deepest of all the midfielders, looking to just see and control the tempo of the game. Luis Diaz. I like that matchup of him against João Cancelo. A fantastic debut season with Bayern Munich, leaving Liverpool after that title win and going and backing it up with a domestic double in Germany. DFB Pokal victory and Bundesliga win over there. Davinson Sanchez, a great driving run. Mercado came central there, fed it out wide. James Rodriguez sets it back for Luis Diaz. Trying to get his feet sorted there. Out to the far side where Santiago Arias is. He's gotten further forward and Nuno Mendes making the block. Good spell there for Colombia. Just got Portugal deep here defending. Arias. Pieter. There's a bit of space to shoot. And that's well wide from the central midfield man from Racing. That is going to be the weaker part of this Portuguese side. The backline not unbelievable. Renato Vega, João Cancelo not known for their defensive work. João Cancelo more for his attacking work, and Renato Vega a part of a back three at times. And not the almost consistent defender. We saw how Villarreal got exposed in the Champions League, but that is what he can do, though. Drive into space and play the pass. Pedro Neto wide right. João Cancelo, this is where he's dangerous on the overlapping run. Ball cut back. Ronaldo was in the vicinity. Gave João Cancelo the thumbs up and said, I like that. Renato Vega winning that ball high up the pitch. Here comes Portugal. A game that seems to be played between the final thirds right now and not in the middle third of the game. Sort of final third to final third right now. Ronaldo wants it at the back post. Mendes. Fernandes. This is where Portugal can be dangerous. The intricate play, the trickery and the skill of the likes of Vitinha and Bruno Fernandes. Ronaldo. Vitinha trying to squeeze a pass through. Ruben Neves at walking pace. That's what Portugal can do there. They can go from this sort of slow first gear game to up-tempo through the lines quite quickly. Did see that game, though, through Uzbekistan. It was their counter-attack that really served them well. So if they can get a chance with Renato Vega or Ruben Diaz to get the challenge in and win that ball back, when Colombia get further forward and hit long balls to Nuno Mendes, João Cancelo and Pedro Neto on the break, that's where they could cause some problems. Ball out wide here with Neto. He gets on that left foot and whips one in towards the back post. Nuno Mendes was there. Well dealt with by Santiago Arias. And now John Arias can carry away for Colombia. Bruno Fernandes, I think, wanting a handball against John Arias. Cordoba and Vega going at it. Ball fizzing. Great back heel from Ronaldo. Neto couldn't let it stick. John Arias away from Bruno Fernandes here. Renato Vega's committed himself. And Cordoba's got space. Bruno Fernandes tracking back. Here's the chance. Oh, saved. Great clearance from Cancelo because the follow-up looked in. Another chance. And now we're behind for a corner kick for Colombia. Diogo Costa, massive effort from him back there to deny Cordoba and the seconds as well. Cordoba sent Bruno Fernandes to the weight room. And the strike well saved from Diogo Costa because that came with ferocity. And right-footed palm, and that there from João Cancelo to deny the follow-in was vital. And Colombia find some fine form here early on. So here they come. Corner kick taken short. Arias. In the corner of the box. Strong effort. Double fist away from Diogo Costa though. He gets some distance on that and a long range effort blocked. And flag off there for offside. Bright start though. Colombia in response to Portuguese possession. This one's not going to be cagey. It's going to be open. Colombia love to get forward. Love to attack. And Portugal, they have to. They're obliged to go and win this game if they want to get an easier run in to the final. Unless they want to avoid Argentina, and they're happy to take home second spot. And to be fair, Uzbekistan are doing them a favour by taking the lead versus DR Congo. Because if Congo win and get enough goals there, they could climb ahead of this Portuguese side. Because the head-to-head, they obviously drew match day one. That would be one of the shocks of the tournament if Portugal were amongst the third place qualifiers. Renato Vega. 6 attempts for Colombia, 2 to Portugal. Nuno Mendes left that well short of his intended target. Colombia can come away with it. And then a foul of Nuno Mendes on Lerma there. There's some of the key talent on the bench there. Daniel Munoz, 2 goals already for Colombia. Referee telling Munoz to go sit down. Don't know what the problem is there. We've seen Lionel Messi and Cuti Romero and the Argentinians sitting next to the dugout, but this referee's got a problem. And Mendes making the challenge in Arias, telling him to get up to his feet. Adding a little bit more spice to this one. Great closing speed for Nuno Mendes. One of his strongest suits of his game. Physicality and athleticism. And honestly, any player can get away from Nuno Mendes, but they're not out. He'll be able to close down that space and win that ball back. Was really good, I thought, Champions League final day where not many stood out. He was very good alongside Vitinho in midfield. Here is the 2-time Champions League winner. Plays the ball to the channel for João Felix. The Al Nassr man. His cross blocked by Davinson Sanchez, who hooks over his head to get rid. Pierre under pressure. And won that duel versus Bruno Fernandes. Arias to his namesake, John Arias. Tried a little flick to get through on Nuno Mendes. Fancy footwork from João Felix in there. Portugal seen up the tempo here to match the energy provided by Colombia. You see them in there. James Rodriguez in on Nuno Mendes, the skipper, the veteran, throwing his body around. They want these duels, they want these battles, they want to get that first goal. First goal you feel vital in this game to control the tempo. Portugal score it first, they can possess the game out, they can force Colombia to chase. Bruno Fernandes and João Felix walking in tight company there. Not getting the result though. But if Colombia score first, well, they've got a massive buffer in this game because Portugal have to win. So, Davison Sanchez now. 21 minutes on the clock. Still 0-0, but Colombia have had the better of the opportunities. Diogo Costa had to make 2 important saves so far to keep the game 0-0. No chances of yet for Bruno Fernandes or Cristiano Ronaldo. Mercado. Jefferson Lerma. Now with James Rodriguez. Space to open the shot up, but rolls in John Arias. Oh, and a goal line clearance. From the back pedaling Ruben Neves, sorry. Because that was looking destined for the bottom corner. And Colombia continue to build here. Just more runners and more energy right now than Portugal, who are just a little bit off the pace. Doesn't take much of this Colombian side to really get on top. Vitinha dribbles himself out of trouble. That is the quality of Vitinha. Ruben Neves hits the long diagonal. A task set for Pedro Neto, and well done Vargas off his line to clear that one. To João Cancelo. Vitinha now. Ronaldo dropping in. And has been fouled by John Arias. And, well, we saw him give one up for Nuno Mendes from a very similar position versus Uzbekistan. Does he fancy this one? A little bit further back. Cristiano. Arias is a little bit too overzealous there. Here's that earlier chance for Colombia. Well worked from left to right. And James Rodriguez, just the deftest of touches to get around the corner for Arias. He made that late run, and Cristiano Ronaldo is all over this. And they've all walked away. There's no kidding here. It's going to be Ronaldo, and only Ronaldo over this one. Bruno Fernandes is also lining it up, but I doubt he's going to take this one from this far out. He scored many a long goal in his time, Cristiano Ronaldo, from his time at Sporting Real and also Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo! Oh, got it on target. Went straight in the hands of Vargas. Lacked that proper real fizz and power to get it past Vargas. More of a shot that was placed rather than ferociously struck. James Rodriguez to the far side where Luis Diaz is. Got the run on the outside in Mercado, but goes essentially back to the skipper in James Rodriguez. Colombia continuing to show their quality when going forward. When they get in the final third, they look the more dangerous side. And that's going to take us to the drinks break. So, what a start. Colombia have had the better of things. Couple hard chances for Portugal. They have had the better of the possession. But Colombia in transition, and when they get in the final third, have looked very, very dangerous. This is that Ronaldo free kick. Very central, and Vargas didn't have to move in the end. But a stronger start for Colombia over Portugal. We're going to have a short break here, a minute and a half at max, and we'll be back for the action for the second half of the first period of this game here. It remains Colombia 0, Portugal 0. And we are back, guys, for the second quarter of this game, with the modern quarter time and three-quarter time intervals being put in play. Colombia making the brighter of the starts in these two sides. Commentator just mentioning the stickiness of the conditions. Proper humid day here, proper Miami day in summer. Going to be testing for some of these players, especially the Paris Saint-Germain players that have had a very, very big season. A lot of them were here 12 months ago, playing the Club World Cup. They made the final. They lost to Chelsea at the New York Stadium. Colombia's winning these duels right now and just getting into the more dangerous areas at the moment. Pieter out to Mercado. Colombia, the great entertaining side so far of this tournament. They've played some really, really engaging matchups, all so far based in Mexico, but finally making their way across here to the United States of America. And their fans have followed, haven't they? Massive crowd following them here in Miami. It's a home away from home. James, a big switch. Mercado. It just feel like the next few moments here are massive for Portugal, just to endure some of this Colombian pressure and refine some of their form and their shape. Arias, Lerma now, top of the box. As they work towards the right-hand side here, Davinson Sanchez. Furthest right to Santiago Arias. Roll ball looking for James in the box. Bruno Fernandes knocked it ahead of himself and set himself the impossible task of beating Jean Lukumi. Going back with Vargas now. Jefferson Lerma into John Arias. Those two working in tandem in there just to control the tempo, control the pace for this Colombian side. We did see versus the DR Congo that their resilience is there. They can continue to keep knocking away at the door and they stay solid, they stay strong, they don't falter under pressure. That game was huge for them. A big 3 points. Daniel Munoz again, the score sheet. They haven't been flowing in the goals like they were in qualifying in the World Cup, but they have one of the most dangerous sides going forward. A few offside goals, a few calls not going their way in that game. James Rodriguez, after arguing with the lines, I think got his call eventually. And it's going to be a Colombian corner because Renato Vega got the last touch there. A Colombian corner kick after all that debate. I think it's the right call being made. But wouldn't this be controversy if Colombia scored from this? Ronaldo trying to get his troops fired up. Oh. And now VAR's overturned the decision after all of that. So he just didn't touch that, apparently. I thought that he touched that quite clearly, Renato Vega. The referee saying no nick. Ball Portugal's way. And they go in for this goal kick. Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo looked offside. Flags up straight away. Just had to hold his run there. The ball just didn't get to Bruno fast enough. Had the right idea, though. Cristiano running the right channels. Maybe a few years ago, could have given himself a few more yards to get in behind. But the 41-year-old unable to keep himself onside there. A first time pass, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo linking up there beautifully. Ronaldo shoved to ground. Bruno spread to the far side where Neto is. The overlap from João Cancelo, didn't use him. And then in the end, Cancelo was offside. A big wasted chance for Pedro Neto. He's had a real hot and cold type season for Chelsea. That's a foul by Ruben Diaz on James, climbing over him to win that header duel. Having a chat with the ref there about... He's used his arm to rise above James. He's hit him in the head there, so that's a fair call. See his disagreement with Ruben Diaz. He's wanting to win that aerial duel versus a shorter individual. Colombia, I think still they've had the better of the chances and the better of the football so far. They've played at a much quicker tempo. They're winning their duels. They're a bit more physical than Portugal. Portugal haven't quite unlocked that beautiful football that they can play. That's the problem with Portugal, though. You feel like if it's not perfect, it doesn't work for them. There's a real fine line between catastrophe and beauty with this Portuguese side. On the left here, Luis Diaz, Pirata. Bruno Fernandes bypassed too easily yet again. A lot of work for Vitinha to do in their midfield with the leggy Ruben Neves, and Bruno Fernandes not really the most accountable defender ever. Santiago Arias ball in. Mercado couldn't get an important touch. And Cordoba was in there as well. Once again cleared away by João Cancelo. I tell you what, Santiago Arias is winning that battle versus Nuno Mendes right now. That's a worrying sign for Portugal. With the veteran fullback from Colombia winning that battle. Maybe Daniel Munoz comes on at half-time and just that fresh legs could get the better of Nuno Mendes. James unable to keep that in play. Obviously, you all remember the 2014 heroics of James Rodriguez, including that memorable goal. That really put him on the map and got him those moves to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. And then unfortunately, injuries and deep squads denied him a real good run at things. But right now, currently in the MLS. And trying to keep himself as a key player. And you can see it, James Rodriguez, the class is still there. He knows the game very well, pops into positions. He knows he's not the quickest or most agile as he once was, but so good in tight spaces, draws a crowd, and keeps his Colombian side ticking. An unselfish game as well. We'll play 60 minutes and that's it. Similar to what we saw with Luka Modric earlier in the tournament, but he played 90 minutes today and was absolutely influential in the latter moments there in that 2-1 victory over Ghana. There's a lot of these veteran players, James, Ronaldo, Messi, Modric, Dzeko for Bosnia and Herzegovina. They're all doing fine jobs for their nations, despite their age. A couple faces there, big heads. And of course, James is one of those. Portugal much better in their shape here following the hydration break. But again, Vitinha's doing a lot of hard yards in midfield, covering basically a 3-on-1. So Vega is a bit overzealous there. His attempts to win the ball against Cordoba. Cordoba's had to work very, very hard in this first 45 just to win any battle. They've been very physical with him. Ruben Diaz and Renato Vega. Of course, the celebrities in the house here. Wouldn't be an American World Cup without them. James Rodriguez, great ball in behind the lines. Arias, just straight at Diogo Costa. He could claim quite comfortably in the end. Wasted position once again. John Arias in that hybrid midfield winger role. Just no one can go with him and mark him because you don't really know where he's going to be. Hammers will drop in at times and Hammers will go and play on the right. Look at that ball recovery time. That the start there sort of summarise how the game's gone. 13 seconds for Colombia, 29 for Portugal. They're just a little bit slower to react and happier to sit in their shape a little bit more versus the Colombian side who are putting it in sports mode and going at this side. Another dangerous cross on Luis Diaz, and Cordoba and James Rodriguez couldn't agree who wanted to go for it. So Nuno Mendes comes the other way now for Portugal. They just need to up the intensity. They need to up the pace. They need to meet Colombia halfway here. Fernandez to find Ronaldo. You can hear the boos for Cristiano Ronaldo. Feeds it out wide for Pedro Neto. He's standing up again. Rising is João Felix. Vitinha's strike, well blocked away. Pieta's clearance scuffed. So Bruno Fernandes sends it back in the box where Jacques Cancelo is. He looks to stand one up and no one made the run to the back post. Another opportunity for Portugal goes to waste. They're getting limited chances, Portugal. When you get a chance on a recycled delivery, you've got to do better than that. And Roberto Martinez has got the, I think it's the Aston Villa assistant there. What is he doing there? Surely he's not left Unai Emery's coaching staff for this. I need to give that a bit of research. That shocked me. That's a bit of a... He's a set-piece man, I'm pretty sure, for Aston Villa. And maybe he's come across for this tournament for Portugal. No foul there on Cordoba by Renato Veiga. So Portugal come back the other way. And this is where I think they need to do their best work. Once they win that aerial duel, if the ball gets sent forward, they have to come quickly. Neto, really good ball. Jacques Cancelo on this right-hand side. Lukumi out to meet him. Good cutback ball. Fernandez! Ball well saved. Ronaldo tried the overhead kick. And unable to find the back of the net. Big chance for Bruno. João Felix. Neto on the outside. Cutback ball sent away by Davinson Sanchez. And the first warning shot for Portugal. It fell so kindly for Bruno. Vitinha. Here come Portugal again with Bruno Fernandes. Inside of Felix. Flicked around the corner to Ronaldo. Nuno Mendes. Portugal starting to purr here. Neto. Vitinha. To Ruben Neves! Oh, gee. Not too far away. Not too far away from him. And he's adamant it's a corner kick. It did take a nick, actually. Here's the chance. What a ball around the corner from Pedro Neto to find Jacques Cancelo. And once you get in that position there, Bruno Fernandes forced him perfectly. But it's probably a Vargas save rather than a Bruno miss. He goes to roof it, and Vargas with a strong hand. And those Portuguese fans, they can't believe it. Bruno Fernandes, I guess you can say, despite all of his assists this season, hasn't been the most clinical he's ever been. João Felix and Santiago Arias coming together there. It's the frustration of Felix. Oh, got to be careful there. Hand around the neck. Fernandes wins it. Ronaldo, the return ball to Bruno. Back post where Neto is. I'll tell you what, the Ronaldo-Bruno link-up today is looking much better. Probably the best we've seen in this World Cup. And Bruno continuing to talk to the referee as he does so iconically well. This poor ref's probably thinking, I'm in for a long day. Colombia now on the back foot. It's been a great response for Portugal in the last 5 minutes. Long throw. It's found the way. Oh! João Felix. Very creative throw from Nuno Mendes to find João Felix in a forward position. And that chest control to get it past Davinson Sanchez, and he took it on. Bruno Fernandes running onto that. He wanted it. But it was on João Felix's right-footed side, and it probably was the better option. Just couldn't get over it. Coming off a great Saudi Pro League season. Colombia with the response. Great few minutes here for Portugal. Taking the sting out of this game. And they've got some chance of their own. And to be honest, if it's down to the work of João Felix, Bruno Fernandes and João Cancelo, who've all worked very hard in the recent moments to get this side forward and get them on the football. We can talk about Vitinha, we can talk about Jean Neves, Nuno Mendes and Ronaldo, but to be honest, Bruno Fernandes seems to be the litmus test for this Portuguese side. Like he is for Manchester United, he's involved, he's engaged. The side plays great football. Arias. It's very loose. Ronaldo almost there. Mercado here on the far left-hand side. Fair play to Pedro Neto as well. He's been involved here. Set up that great reverse ball to find João Cancelo for that Bruno Fernandes effort. And then did some great work on the left-hand side. So Davinson Sanchez into the feet of Luis Diaz, who just haven't seen too much of in recent moments. Bit of an overload here on the far left-hand side. James. Arias against Santiago. Arias on the far side. Ball cut back. James edge of the area. It's James Rodriguez. Renato Vega got a foot into it. Lerma strike. Renato Vega away again. Ronaldo, great chest control down. And Neto fouling Mercado. Not much in that, I thought. On the far side. Ronaldo's link-up play, though. Really good. Playing an unselfish role today, Cristiano Ronaldo. All the eyes in the world on him and how he'll play in this side against a top-quality opponent in Colombia. And he's really played a good role so far. Maybe just the weight of the shoulders from those 2 goals versus Uzbekistan's freed him up. He looks about inspired today. I mean, see with Lionel Messi, you don't have to have 50 touches and 10 shots to really impact a game. You can go missing for large periods, but link the game up and get your side involved to be successful. Ronaldo bundled over, speaking of the man. I saw a comparison photo between 2022 Qatar and here, and they weren't lying when they said he looks younger here than he did in Qatar, which is just crazy. The man is like a fine wine. Nuno Mendes now. Portugal, and their response has been good. Nuno Mendes nips in ahead. João Felix just lost control at a very important time because Nuno Mendes was skipping in behind. Great read by João Cancelo to get ahead of Luis Diaz. And the Barcelona man under a lot of pressure now. Lost out to John Arias. A little bit of a power play here for Colombia. Arias charging forward. Just overthought it and didn't release the ball. Edge of the area. Here's a chance. And Pieta puts it quite in a central position for Costa to save. And it's becoming stretched already. Fernandes around the corner. Pedro Neto now. We've got 3 on 4. Pedro Neto trying to get out Jean-Luc Coumi. And the Bologna centre-half did very well to read that against the speedy Pedro Neto. Bit of fatigue, maybe playing a part here because we've got end-to-end action to end the first 45. Chances at both ends, but errors on the ball at both ends have cost these two sides. Ruben Neves trying to lock down Luis Diaz. Diaz opened up for a shot and pulled it wide in the near post. Wow. This is the Colombian fans' rising voice. You've got to give it to them. They've had the better of the first half proceedings, but Portugal have had a good little passage here the last 5 to 10 minutes. I think we're in for a really entertaining second period. Back and forth, despite no goals, it's been quite open and both keepers called into important actions. Bruno Fernandes probably be thinking, how have I not scored? So too John Arias. Luis Diaz. Mercado joining in. A good footing by Ruben Diaz. And the clearance is very nice. Sits up beautiful for Pedro Neto. And up joining is Vitinha. And all of a sudden, there's a bit of space for Portugal to operate into. Nuno Mendes marching on. Ronaldo down the middle. It's Nuno Mendes. Vitinha, the edge of the area. Ronaldo. Cristiano tries a shot. Blocked away by Davinson Sanchez. And now James coming the other way. Advantage played. He was taken out by Nuno Mendes. He looks very fatigued. A lot of tired players out there right now, quarter, but Davinson Sanchez, he made that block from the Ronaldo effort up the pitch. There is no midfield. It is final third to final third. A lot of leggy players out there right now. The Miami Heat is scorching right now, and these players are looking very fatigued. James Rodriguez. Good save from Diogo Costa. He parried away to a safe spot. Now Neto again. Did Portugal go again? Pedro Neto's going alone. Pedro Neto. Look at Neto go. Look at the turn of pace. Lukumi backpedaling. Ronaldo getting in there. Cristiano not quite reaching the legend. And Portugal now caught out. Colombia coming the other way. It is chaos at the end. John Lukumi, great closing to deny Pedro Neto, an easy cross to Ronaldo. Here's Arias. Final few seconds of the first half. It's been breathless and frenetic. And that is the end of the first 45. Well, gee, catch your breath after that. That was absolutely mental. Chances at both ends. Big saves by both keepers. But in the end, from a chaotic, breathless, frenetic, and fantastic first 45, there is nothing to separate Colombia and Portugal. Big saves for both keepers. Half-time starts quickly before we go for the half-time break. 45% possession for Portugal. They've managed their 9 shots. Colombia managed 13 shots with 55% possession. They're edging the expected goals 0.88 to 0.52. 3 saves for Diogo Costa, 2 for Vargas in goal, but it remains 0-0. It'll be a short break for half-time, guys. Stay tuned, though. This is going to be a very, very interesting second 45. It remains Colombia 0, Portugal 0. So we're in here for the second half. Welcome back, everybody. Jean Neves and Diogo Dalot here on screen warming up. They're ready to go. Again, some rotation here for Portugal. Great first half. Breathless first 45 minutes. Back and forth. Energy on display by both sides. Colombia had the better of it, undoubtedly. But every time Portugal went forward, they really did look dangerous, especially in that last 10 minutes of the match. So the reinforcements are coming on here for Portugal. Might have Diogo Dalot coming on the left or the right side of the defence. Nuno Mendes did look very, very leggy at the end of that 45, but no, João Cancelo to make way and Ruben Neves. So probably their strongest 11 now out on the pitch. Ronaldo, Neto, Fernandes, Felix, Vitinha, Neves, Mendes, Vega, Diaz, and Dalot. Roberto Martinez getting his message across to Diogo Dalot. So they've made the substitutions. No change for Colombia. Jean Neves just to bring a little bit more energy into midfield, ball winning capacity to potentially try and limit Colombia's ability to get through the lines nice and easy. It might end up being like we saw at the end of the first half this game, where the middle third of the game is just taken out of it. I'm talking about final third to final third. Have to wait and see that. The countdown is on here in Miami. And we are underway here from Miami. Portugal has kicked off. They're kicking from left to right in this second period. Colombia from right to left in a steamy, hot Miami. There's been a lot of heat on the pitch as well. Really back and forth, energetic first 45 minutes where both teams had fair chances and both keepers, according to make important saves at vital moments. Colombia edged it, but Portugal grew into the game as the first half grew older. Vitinha, who's so dangerous in driving into these areas. Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, rolls the wide to Pedro Neto, the Chelsea wide man. Sets it back to Diogo Dalot of Manchester United. Here is Neto, goes towards the bar line, and then ends up running out of ideas and wasting the early opportunity for Portugal to go forward. That's the one thing for Portugal. Their attacking play is undoubtedly very strong, but it's about matching the energy of which Colombia are playing at. They were just a little bit off it in the first 30 minutes of that first half. Still played some good football and still played some good passages, but they're playing at a certain pace, and Colombia are playing at a different level altogether in terms of the pace they're at. Cordoba doing well to occupy Ruben Diaz, and what a challenge flying in for João Neves acrobatically in there to win that ball. That's what he's going to bring, physicality in midfield. Pieter, Lerma, and in particular John Arias going to have to work a little bit harder now with the Paris Saint-Germain defensively minded midfielder on. Lerma swings up at the left-hand side. We didn't see much of Diaz in the latter moments of that half. The former Northwest rivalry there with Diaz of Liverpool previously, and Manchester United's fullback Diogo Dalot. Arias. Yes, Santiago Arias. He's been very important so far in this one. Vitinha doing the defensive work, and Arias nipping in and clipping his heels. So just repeating, two changes for Portugal. João Cancelo off, Diogo Dalot on. And João Neves coming on for Ruben Neves in midfield. Cristiano Ronaldo still plays up top. As it currently stands, Colombia remain top of the group. They came into this game with that 2-point advantage, meaning that Portugal can only finish top of the group if they win this game here versus Colombia. Ronaldo and Arias coming to a tussle there. Pierto. Squeezes one through to Jefferson Lerma, who's on the turn. Met by João Neves. James now. Again, playing much more centrally, so Jefferson Lerma has got a bit more company in midfield. And John Arias has to go a little bit broader to provide some width. But it has been the right back, Arias, has gotten further forward and provided that right-hand side width for this Colombian side. Here's James with a bit of space. Rolls it across to Pieter, who remains the deepest of all Colombian midfielders. Arias, again, he's drifted out wide here to receive that one. Cordoba, Lerma. Colombia just happy to possess here. Good 2 to 3 minutes of possession for them after Portugal made the bright start. Loose from Pirata, and Bruno Fernandes nipping in to win that one back for Portugal. That's 2 fouls in there. From Davinson Sanchez on Bruno, and Lerma on João Felix. Thought he was away there. Actually, Davinson Sanchez, you got Felix. Actually, Perito got Bruno Fernandes there. Uzbekistan leading in that game versus the DR Congo. And that would be of great news to Iran, who are sitting there in the third place qualifiers in 6th spot. Hoping not to drop out of that position. Requiring Algeria to lose by 2 goals and DR Congo not to win to stay in that top 8. That'd be a great story considering the drama that happened yesterday in that game versus Egypt. Ronaldo, who drifted out wide left. Met by 2 Colombian jerseys and is dispossessed. João Felix trying to get a foot in. Arias getting away. That's in the side there by Nuno Mendes. And the referee quite rightly has told him to get back to his feet. Bruno Fernandes. Feeds one through there. Cristiano, who's drifted to the 2010s version on the left. Vitinha. Bit of team news coming from Argentina as well. No Messi from the start. Nico Pats. Paredes starts. Julian Alvarez starts up top alongside Lautaro Martinez for that. And they've heavily rotated with Marcos Senesi at the back and basically a full new starting 11 for them in that game. That dead rubber versus Jordan. That's up next. Austria playing Algeria also. Pedro Neto feints the cross, then sets it back for Diogo Dalot. Headed effort. And it took a nick. And João Felix with a chance there. 2 chances now for João Felix. That's a beautiful delivery from Diogo Dalot, who sometimes can hit one into row Z and sometimes can produce that. He's consistently inconsistent at times, Diogo Dalot. Just totally missed times a headed effort, though. Ends up coming off his shoulder. But Roberto Martinez likes it. So does the Portuguese bench. Rafa Leao, Francisco Conceição, 2 options that wouldn't be surprised we see relatively soon, considering the heat and the energy expelled by João Felix and Pedro Neto. Ball fizzed into Cordoba. Pierta. 10 attempts for Portugal, 12 for Colombia. It's been a very, very entertaining back and forth game. 3 attempts on target for Colombia, 2 on target for Portugal. They've both thrown some haymakers here. Nothing yet has landed, though. Davinson Sanchez rolls that ball back to the keeper, Vargas. He made that very important save to deny Bruno Fernandes just after the half-hour mark when Portugal made that response following the drinks break. Ruben Diaz competing with Cordoba. Lerma coming away with it, the European champion with Crystal Palace in the UEFA Conference League last campaign. Made an important role there alongside Adam Morton and Will Hughes in midfield throughout that season. So again, this campaign with a new manager, Oliver Glasner, departing from Crystal Palace in the off-season. John Lukumi sends it long and high and is Cordoba onside here. He collected it. No flag went up. So that was a chance there for Colombia. John Arias presses well. Portugal can't clear their lines. And Lerma just dilly-dallied on it. And Bruno Fernandes got in there and won it well. Fantastic from the Manchester United captain. João Felix with a change of speed can get away. Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo alongside him. It's Bruno Fernandes who leaves it. And Ronaldo wasn't there. And there, once again, is a prime example of Portugal forcing it to Cristiano Ronaldo. I just thought Bruno should have taken a touch there, got the ball. The chance would have opened up with Ronaldo occupying a lot of the defenders. But again, a counter-attacking chance goes to waste for Portugal. See again, like what we saw against Uzbekistan, Ronaldo, Felix and and Bruno on the break. So dangerous. So dynamic. And I really think when you got players like Nuno Mendes and Diogo Dalot and runners like Bruno Fernandes, the electricity of Cristiano Ronaldo, the counter-attack is a viable option for this Portuguese side. Be pragmatic, sit in without it, and go and break away. Out Colombia at Colombia's game. Ball switch out to Luis Diaz. Diogo Dalot out to meet him. He stands him up. Short of Mercado, and Neto was in well, but Mercado stayed with it really well. Deal with 3 Portuguese defenders. Fizzing shot from Lerma. Double fister again from Diogo Costa. Ronaldo, little flick around the corner for João Felix. Has he got the beating of Davinson Sanchez? No, he doesn't. Sanchez does very well. The Galatasaray defender. Winning that duel, and the Colombian fans find voice in Miami. Luis Diaz getting inside, feeding Pierta. James Rodriguez has got close company in the form of João Neves. Space for John Arias here. Edge of the area. It's a good hit, but comfortable for Diogo Costa. He covers his goal very well. Not a bad effort though from John Arias. Just Diego Costa just read it and needed a lot of power to beat him from out there. Then that Jefferson Lerma attempt, which was more of a whack towards goal. It was swerving around and Costa went the double fister again. Get that ball out of danger. It's worked quite well so far. Diego Costa's two-handed fist. A lot of distance and almost commenced a couple of counter-attacks for the Portuguese side. So here's Vitinha, who received it from Renato Vega, and the game once again just slowing down a little bit. The heat definitely going to take an impact here as we get into the 70th, 80th and 90th minute. Ruben Diaz to Renato Vega. The Villarreal man has options ahead of him, including João Felix, who ignored. Nuno Mendes. Portugal still looking and probing, pushing for that goal to put them in front and to put them on top of this group. They want to be the winners of this group. They believe they deserve to be there. This Colombian side, though, are not budging from their position. Neto, Ronaldo, Vitinha. Neto made the continuation of his run, but wasn't able to be found by the Portuguese midfielder. Vitinha. Renato Vega now. As the ball goes to the left-hand side with Nuno Mendes. The ball inside the corridor there to João Felix turning to shoot. Davison Sanchez in the way. Again. And Santiago Arias and John Arias playing keep ball for the moment. Davison Sanchez just goes for distance. Well read from Ruben Diaz and worked well with Renato Vega with a little bit of head tennis there for the moment. Oh, and a beautiful touch from the Rolls Royce Ruben Diaz. Always looks unfazed at the back, Ruben Diaz. And I was the first to really doubt him coming into this campaign, but a really good season for Manchester City. Ended up getting phased out by Kusanov and Mark Gehi, but his talent remains. And reports say Enzo Maresca wants him as the club captain now, with Bernardo Silva leaving for Serie A or La Liga clubs this summer. There's the momentum chart. It really has been seesawing. Look at that. Back and forth throughout this one. Suarez and is that Richard Rios on the touchline? Yes, Richard Rios and Luis Suarez on the touchline, ready to go. So more energy in midfield, a ferocious player in Richard Rios, and Luis Suarez will look to occupy and make life a little bit more difficult for Ruben Diaz and Renato Vega. Quite a bit more of a hold-up physical guy who's just thrown his body around and tried to tire out the centre halves, and Luis Suarez can come on and benefit from that. The Sporting Lisbon man. Neves, good period of possession here for Portugal. Ball spread out wide to João Felix. Has probably looked the brightest of all Portuguese players. Ball looking for Ronaldo over his head and into the comfortable hands of Vargas in goal. Gianni Fantino chatting with his company up there. He really has been everywhere, hasn't he? Almost impossibly everywhere, according to some of the broadcast coverage the last 2 days. Taking a 4-hour flight in 10 minutes, according to the coverage. So ball around the corner to Santiago Arias. Now with John Arias. I think we'll get a lot of this here in the second half. Possession in the slow phase as teams get to the final third. And once you're in the final third, that's when the game comes alive. Now Diogo Dalot's picked out João Felix. He's got a lot of space. Defenders backpedaling. Ronaldo pulls wide. And the flag goes up. Massive chance missed for Cristiano. And again, Portugal just forcing the ball to Cristiano. João Felix well on. He sees Santiago Arias pressing him. Does he panic or is he trying to find Ronaldo? Big opportunity missed, though, by the Portuguese there. So much space for João Felix on that far side. And so Jefferson Lerma's run his race. So too has Cordoba. Sporting Lisbon's Richard Rios will come in there and throw his body weight around. Very well in the Champions League, Richard Rios really stood out. That Benfica side ended up losing out in that chaotic game versus Real Madrid. I'm wondering if that midfield will have to be rotated. Vitinha potentially have to get substituted just through sheer fatigue out there today. Long ball, Dalot. Oh, nervy moment for Diogo Costa. He keeps it in play though. When you look at the Portuguese bench, you've got Bernardo Silva, got Francisco Conceição, Rafa Leão in there as well. Matheus Nunes can potentially go back into midfield. Hasn't played there a lot this campaign, but that is an option. We just feel Vitinha. Those legs might be going. Nuno Mendes really struggling out there as well. Maybe Semedo comes on and Diego Dalot goes to left back. Oh, it's a great ball from James. And Colombia in behind. The cutback's on. Rios pulls wide of the goal face with basically his first touch. And it was the best work chance of the game, I feel. Richard Rios making that late run for midfield. It all comes to this James Rodriguez. Beautiful pass to split through two Portuguese defenders. And Santiago Arias pulled back perfectly. He's been fantastic at right back today for Colombia. Rios had to go to the far post. Had to open up his body and find that region. So another nervy moment for Portugal defensively. Another solid attack for Colombia. Chances will open. This game will become stretched. Jean-Luc Koumi out wide to Luis Diaz. Diego Dalot in well to win that ball back. And again, we transition. Bruno Fernandes is free down the middle. Didn't get used by his teammate, Diego Dalot. Vitinha cleaned out there. That's a yellow card. No, it's not. Richard Rios getting away with that one there. Richard Rios, who is manager now, in charge of Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho. The next couple of weeks, we're obviously all focused on here, but then oh, so yeah, it is McPhee. So he's still contracted to Aston Villa, but does Portuguese work as well. That man must never sleep. Yeah, but we'll talk about obviously Real Madrid and the signings, and a lot's been happening behind the scenes throughout this World Cup. That's a lot of talking points for later in the tournament when we're down to a few more teams. Fernandes looking for Ronaldo. Didn't take a nick in the end and behind for a goal kick. Well covered off there by Arias and Sanchez. Saying glance, but referee didn't see it that way. So Colombia back on the front foot. Richard Rios. What a start he could have had if he'd scored that goal with his first touch. That's a dangerous ball in behind. Suarez is there. Chance to shoot. Feints it. Takes it on. Renato Vega in the way. Corner kick for Colombia. Well done, Renato Vega, who was initially caught out by the run of Luis Suarez. Yeah, the line's so unbalanced there from Portugal. I thought he could have gone first time. Allowed Vega to get back, and by the time he got back, got the important block on the calf there, which took the effort wide of the mark. This is a good period for Colombia, though. They've looked the better of the two sides here. And they're looking even better as the time goes on. James, dangerous ball in. Flicked header. Wide from Davinson Sanchez, the Galatasaray. Portuguese fans remain in good spirits and high voice. This game is so in the balance. It really is going to come down to who can take their chance when they get it. Chances have been saved or wasted by players already. Boy, did I play by Mercado. Fernandez doing some good work down there. There you go, Dallo. Getting the count now from the referee. John Neves caught on it. Great challenge there by Pirata. Colombia coming the other way, but Nuno Mendes read that better. Couldn't come away with it though. Tackles flying in. Advantage play by the referee. John Neves had to cover off here defensively. This is the chance for Colombia. The cutback ball. Oh, Arias. Well saved by Diogo Costa. He was blindsided for that shot. Oh, takes a nick as well. Wow, what a save from Diogo Costa. Well adjusted too. So close range to get that left hand to that and parry it wide. Listen to these Colombian fans just deafening inside of this Miami stadium. Ball whipped in. Vega away again. Second ball available to Luis Diaz. Pirata. Not too far away. Colombia are not just knocking, but kicking this door down. And so far, the rear guard of Diogo Costa, Ruben Diaz, and Renato Vega staying solid. Here's that Pirata chance. Not far away. Diogo Costa had a cover, though, to be fair. He's covered his goal really well today. Good positioning. Early dive. Oh, Nuno Mendes copped one to the head there. Mendes in the wars here. He's had a tough match of it. Okay, hydration break. It's a good time for it because these players are absolutely spent. So after 67 minutes, we're still locked at 0-0. Chances growing for Colombia as they look the most dangerous side right now. But a chance for a break, a chance for a reset. Short minute break and we'll be right back, guys, for the final moments for this game between Colombia and Portugal. It remains 0-0. All right, to go to the 70th minute now, and the changes have come. Vitinha is going to make way. Here comes, is that Samuel Costa? It is Samuel Costa's coming on. Rafael on for João Felix. So, like I said, some changes needed to be made. Vitinha needed to come. I think the legs were going. Congo equalising to Uzbekistan apparently. It's a 1-1 there. They're on 2 points now in the tournament. Uzbekistan only have 1 now. But fresh legs up top for Portugal. Fresh legs in midfield now. João Neves alongside Samuel Costa. And up top, Rafael joins Cristiano Ronaldo, Pedro Neto, and Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes got set up there by Dallo. Really poor throw from him. Colombia the other way, though. Richard Rios. James Rodriguez now. Feeding in Mercado on his left-hand side. Back pass there by Peralta to the keeper, Vargas. Davinson Sanchez back to the keeper here now. So Portugal just trying to press in and look this Colombian side in for the time being. That's a loose pass. Nearly broken up by Pedro Neto. Him and Diego Dallo on his right-hand side doing a lot of energetic defensive work. But Colombia get out of it and they get forward here through Arias. They really have forced Portugal to defend the wide space as well. They've stretched the game, Colombia, in this one. Utilised the wide spaces. Kept the ball in motion. Made it very difficult for this Portuguese side just to be short up defensively. They've always had to be a little bit off balance. Mercado. James. Can he produce anything magic here later on? We saw Luka Modric get the assist for the winning goal for Croatia. And then with multiple challenges later on and blocks and tackles to keep his side in front, he was inspired. Can Ronaldo or James roll back the clock like he did today and be the point of difference here late on? 1 substitution left for Portugal. 3 left for Colombia, who can really bring on some fresh legs later on. No foul there against Samuel Costa. Went down too easy according to the referee. Ball whipped in. Suarez, great take and turn. And Vega the block. Diego Dallo getting in then. Cleared away by Ruben Diaz. Rafael cushions the header. Fernandes, Ronaldo. Ronaldo fighting away. But Colombia come away with it. Luis Diaz now. Can he find the pass? Vega again in the way. It comes out to James. And Vega again heads over. He has been inspirational defensively today. And after I mentioned him being one of the weak links of this side, he's been the best player in the park for Portugal. This is Colombian dominance and overwhelming pressure building. John Arias over the corner kick, plays short. Diaz, James, ball into the back post, second ball's available. It falls in the box. Advantage played. Nuno Mendes wasn't there fouling the Colombian attacker. They wanted the penalty, but nothing given from the referee and straight away said no. It was Suarez. And he kicks Nuno Mendes, actually, so it's a foul the other way around. Great call from the referee. What call from the referee? Had a very good game today, this ref. The Aussie, Alireza Fagahi. Fair play. Dallo, he's brought to ground. No advantage, though. Mercado bringing him to ground as Colombia ready 2 more substitutions. And this is a big move, I think. Getting ready Quintero, who was superb when he came off the bench last time out, I think. Was it Carrascal as well? Castaño coming on as well. They're going to be ready for the next interval. Quarter of an hour to be played here. Still knotted at 0-0. Colombia really have played much better than Portugal today. The referee lets that go again. Referee out playing for that contract. Wants to leave Milan and wants out. Needs to show the world what he can do. Good challenge from Diogo Dalot, and doesn't win the throw Portugal's way. Arias makes way here. Castaño comes on. He's put a real big shift in today, John Arias. Absolutely quality for Colombia this tournament. Unstoppable. And James Rodriguez also making way. Listen to the reception for him. Quintero comes on. And Castano. He really has looked superb today. And it hasn't looked like the age has got to him. It's been the day for the older players. Quintero, the veteran, was so good versus DR Congo late on. He was the difference, I thought. Oh, Rafael, look at the turn of pace there. Get the better of Arias. He can't keep it in play. It's a corner kick, Portugal. A corner kick which Bruno Fernandes will undoubtedly go over and take. There's Jimmy Butler in the stands. And there is the Villa man on the touchline, the set-piece specialist for Portugal and Aston Villa. So they're all going to line up towards the back post on the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes is just running his laces and going to step up and take this corner kick. Ronaldo's in the goal right now. And Bruno Fernandes now. Plays it short. Will work for Diogo Dalot. Oh, he looked to whip it, but not too far away from the far post, but wide. Well, works. Two Manchester United men linking up. Gee, that's not far at all. Started right outside that right post and never could get it curling back inside of the post. Martinez likes to work again. His side have been outplayed though second half. The mismatch and sort of all sorts of Portugal's performances continues. They've had such decent moments, some really poor moments, some patchy moments in this game. Here's Quintero, who will just be the metronome for Colombia. That's a great pass. Mercado in behind. Sets it back. Luis Diaz. And again, it's Samuel Costa this time getting a foot in. And Pedro Neto looks to turn the afterburners on and get away. And just tackled to ground by Puerta. Samuel Costa. And Nuno Mendes now. Ronaldo just drifting out on the left. Fernandes at the moment down the middle. Bit of rotation, hybrid nature within those two. Ronaldo receives it from Leão, turns. Fernandes squeezes it through to Cristiano Ronaldo. Tight angle. Ronaldo sets it up. Oh, and headed over. And Rafa Leão was getting in there. That's the best that Portugal have looked all day long. Ronaldo and Fernandes. Look at the Portugal fans, and they find their voice. The brightest move all game from them. And it's Bruno Fernandes again to take this corner kick. Ronaldo again on the goal line. Crowded 6-yard box. Everyone's in there. The assist king, Bruno Fernandes. Can he find a magical pass here to unlock this Colombian backline? This Colombian side has been so solid all game. There's a floater. Players hit the ground. Colombia come the other way now with Lucho Diaz. He's got runners left and right. He chooses the left option of Quintero. Players in the box, well blocked away though by Diogo Dalot, who's played a vital role since coming off the bench and has spread the play to the left-hand side where Nuno Mendes is. Congo take the lead now the game. That's a dangerous ball looking for Rafael. Well worked there, in a foul though on Rafael by Arias. He tried to get the ball. That's not great news for Iran, because Congo will go ahead of them as one of the best third-place qualifying teams. Great comeback from the Congo side. Bruno Fernandes caught on it. And they went to the back of him to win the ball there by Richard Rios. That's always a foul. You can have it in the side. You can come to the side, but you can't come to the back of someone. I think that's the basic rule, right? And they're playing a physical game this World Cup. I like it, but you can't come through the back of someone to win a ball. That's not football. So Nuno Mendes from this long distance out is going to try and tee one up here. Ruben Diaz, Ronaldo, Renato Vega all up there. They're the options here. And Mendes' ball doesn't pass the first man. It's a foul in there on Richard Rios. He was caught. The Argentine legend Veron in the stands. So 8 minutes plus some stoppages to go. Tight one. Hard to separate these two sides. The jeopardy of first place in the group on the line here. Portugal need the win to do so. Colombia, with this result, are fine. They're top of the group. In a very, very balmy Miami day. And in the end, the Congo result might end up coming back to bite this Portuguese side, because they've scored more goals. And if they'd got the draw here and they'd beaten Congo, they would have gotten top of the group through goals scored and goal difference. But a failure to win in that opening game has caused them problems. Congo goes second in that top of the third place rankings, and Iran now the final spot left, praying that Algeria don't get a result. What a result there for Congo, joining Cabo Verde as underdog sides making it through. And get Iran through as well. That'd be incredible for the underdog stories at this World Cup. Quintero. Back to Arias. Pierta there. Now with Jean Lukumi, they play out of the press well there, Colombia. The fans lift for them. Quintero looked to just nestle one in the channel there. Well read by Renato Vega again. Man of the match performance from him. Pirta into Suarez. And a foot was put in there, and they work well here. Neves and Fernandes. And away goes Pedro Neto. He's only got Ronaldo up there with him. So takes his time and rolls into Bruno Fernandes. Now Portugal on the football. Getting the boos and the whistles from the Colombian fans. No one's gone up to join Ronaldo. It is just Ronaldo up there for Portugal. Happy just to control the ball here and try and regain some of their breath. It's been that sort of breathless game. There's a lot of defensive action in this second half. They've made 4 substitutions. They can still make 1 more. Samuel Costa, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Neves, Diogo Dalot. Portugal just probing here. Switching it from the right-hand side. to Pedro Neto, who jinks inside. Feints to go back on the outside. And a crossfield pass to find Rafa Leao. Takes it down well. Skips past Richard Rios. And then Arias on his backside. The cross is too deep, though. Diogo Dalot follows it in. Battles in with Luis Diaz. Dalot looked to dink one into Ronaldo. And heavy touch from Neto, and that kills the attack. Diogo Dalot getting the better of Luis Diaz, but the ball just not good enough to reach Cristiano Ronaldo. It was a bad one from Pieter on João Neves. That's a yellow card. And here comes Daniel Munoz. He's coming on for Arias. Santiago Arias has been what a player he's been in this game here. Loved his work. And on comes the two-time goal scorer of this World Cup, Daniel Munoz. And listen to the roar when he comes on. The European champion with Crystal Palace. One of the more exciting attacking players. Headed by Samuel Costa. Ronaldo is well offside, so no threat there. 3 minutes of regulation time. You'd think about 6 minutes of stoppage time to come. Tight. Hard to call. Colombia have had the better of things, but Portugal have that quality. There's a chance here. Munoz is straight in. Since coming on. Daniel Munoz. Cross across the box. Oh! And Suarez almost headed it into the back post. Important defensive head, I think, by Ruben Diaz back there. Daniel Munoz, his first action was almost to assist. Quintero. Ball in. Munoz is there. Oh, save with his feet. Suarez. Oh, over the crossbar. Can't keep the effort down. The sporting man. Oh. Chaos at the end. What a ball from Quintero. And in the end, well done to Diego Costa to get there and get a foot to it. But it fell to Suarez and he couldn't keep it down. Daniel Munoz has come and had 2 touches and he scored a goal and assisted one. What a defensive header from Ruben Diaz back there to get in ahead of Luis Suarez. And to keep Portugal in this game. And Colombia, who don't need a win, are still pushing for the win. And that's what we love about this team. They are just an attacking beast of a side. João Neves now. Final knockings of this one. Pedro Neto looking to squeeze one through to Cristiano. There's Diogo Dalot back up there. Mateus Nunes getting himself ready. Give and go with Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot. United men combining there. João Neves. Renato Veiga. Ruben Diaz. Pressure remains on Portugal to chase this game. A draw doesn't do enough for them. A win to get top of the group. As it currently stands, they are in second. They'll be facing Croatia in the round of 32 with the threat of Spain in the round of 16. A win, though, means they'll go top. And they'll face a Ghanaian side that is, yes, resolute defensively, but a much easier matchup than Croatia. That's a loose pass from Renato Veiga. Gives possession back to Colombia. Davison Sanchez up the pitch now. Looking for and finding the right-hand side player. Crossfield pass for Pieter, who's on that yellow card. Luis Diaz. Five minutes of stoppages to come. Richard Rios finding the ever-dangerous Daniel Munoz over the top. Munoz to whip it in. Suarez is there. Couldn't direct it onto target. Mercado wins a corner of Pedro Neto. Colombian fans again rise as they keep peppering this Portuguese goal. Short corner to Mercado. Quintero, always a beautiful deliverer of the football. That's no better! And it's even better for... Oh, offside. Offside for Davinson Sanchez. He's offside. Linesman went straight up. Davinson Sanchez wags his finger. He thinks he's got it. Linesman was straight away with the flag up. Quintero again. What a delivery from this man. He's on. He's on, I reckon. I reckon this will stand. Davinson Sanchez, I reckon he scores the winner here. I think it's either Renato Vega or the near side man's kept him on. I reckon that's a goal. Davinson Sanchez will score here. The VAR check's ongoing. It's going to be tight, though. It's going to be very, very tight. Is this the winner for Colombia? No. He's offside. I'd love to see that replay back. He looked on. Must be a toe or something. Look clearly onside. What do I know? And that's so. We had offside drama yesterday between Iran and Egypt. Same drama here in stoppage time between Portugal and Colombia. Here comes Rafa Leao. Charging out Daniel Munoz. And the turn of speed's beautiful. More Leao. Oh. Chance leads on. Trying to open up his body and just couldn't whip it in towards the far. But the turn of pace is electric from Rafa Leao. Twice now he's knocked it on beyond the fullback. There's no scrub there in Daniel Munoz. Chance missed again. What a crazy game. How this may end 0-0, I may never know. Colombia probably should have scored 2. Portugal at least deserve 1. It's a 2-1, 3-1 type game. Area drill to be one in the middle of the park. Falls away of Rafa Leao. Here comes Dallo down the left-hand side. Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace in the way. That ball's gone out of play. It'll be a Portuguese throw further up the pitch there. Last minute of stoppages. Can Portugal produce some of that late magic? Roar of the crowd here. Looking for Rafa Leao. Told to get back to his feet. Luis Suarez. Luis Diaz. Colombia come on the counter. Diaz. Finding Puerta in midfield. João Neves. Biting away at him. Luis Diaz. Puerta to the edge of the area. Shot blocked. Recycled here. Colombia again. That's a chance. Diego Costa off his line well. With 20 seconds to go. He's copped a knock to the head there. Diego Costa has been fantastic for Portugal today. Just a trailing leg there of Daniel Munoz. Oh my, it is a toe. It's his toe. Oh. Davinson Sanchez's big toe is the reason why Colombia ever won this game. My, this much. That much. The Colombian fans can't believe it. They thought they'd won it. I thought they'd won it. But this should do it. What a match. Congo will win 3-1. They're definitely through now as one of the best third-place qualifying sides. Great performance for them in this tournament. Portugal, can they throw one more attack forward here? Renato Vega. Ruben Diaz. That is full time. Portugal fall short. Colombia top the group. What a game this one was. Colombia probably deserves a victory today. Portugal fought hard, tooth and nail, but Colombia were the better side. Unable, though, to get a goal. Somehow this game ended 0-0. 37 attempts on goal. Colombia, though, topped the group. And will play Ghana, I believe, in the round of 32. An easier start of the draw for them. They may meet, though, South American counterparts Argentina in the quarterfinals. That will be exciting. And Portugal, where they could face off against Spain in a very, very engaging round of 16 tie. It ends here between Colombia and Portugal. 0-0. Nothing to separate these two sides. James, he was a superstar in this one. So too was Renato Vega and Diogo Costa for Portugal. And Quintero came off the bench for Colombia and caused all sorts of problems. What a game. Shame it had to end 0-0. Colombia deserved the victory, but in the end, nothing to separate these two sides. Colombia topped the group, Portugal in second. It ends here, 0-0 between these two sides.